Hey, Kool-aid Krew, give me a 5 for 5 and we'll go ahead and get started as we go on through this. Hey guys, we've had a couple X players. Well, one X player, one almost X player, as you can see from this very active spot right here. We'll go more into detail on that. That did produce a CME. And Noaa over here at Space Weather Prediction Center, they have already updated their model, and check this out. And it is expected to hit right there. And something else of note right now, NASA agrees. This is the same model coming right at us. Okay, we've got these big, huge sunspots right now, guys. These are big. This is Earth scale. Check that out. We'll go a little bit more into detail here. I'm waiting for the coronagraphs to update. Okay, this happened right around 2000 hours. I'm looking at this one. This is from Soho, and it's not really giving us a whole lot right now. We have been seeing a lot of glitching going on with the satellites too, and we'll go a little bit more into that also, because we had that big 6.0 earthquake yesterday, guys, over here, just off the coast of Oregon, and obviously most of us know that that is the Cascadia subduction zone. If that was to go ahead and do what it does, you know, you literally would have beachfront property in Arizona. So yeah, it's a big deal. So when we see things like this in that area, we take note. But we had a flare, almost X flare, hit right here just as this thing was getting ready to happen. So that happened. The satellites were kind of messing up a little bit all at the same time, which kind of leads me to believe we had some space weather hitting, right? That's kind of what I'm insinuating here. We had some space weather going, you know, and it was, you know, those things can instigate earthquakes. I cannot tell you exactly how. That is not my forte. But I will say this, that, you know, first off, get over and see Ron over at Emergency Management Associates. And everybody else, watch everybody, guys. That's what I tell you. Because, you know, sometimes I get it wrong. Sometimes other people get it wrong. So it's always best just to listen to everybody and make up your own mind. So that's what I'll say on that end of it. But NASA and NOAA are both agreeing here, guys. This is, you know, this happens about 50 to 60% of the time. But a lot of times they don't agree. So it kind of leaves us kind of in limbo. Now, NOAA has not updated their forecast here yet. Okay? And also, guys, first off, it's Halloween, so I get it. If people aren't here, all good. Oh, you guys got bad auto, don't you? Hold on a second. How's that? Is that better? Better audio there, I guarantee you. That's better. Sorry about that, guys. My mic came unplugged. Let me check it real quick. Yeah, it's working now. That's going to be better for you guys. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Hey, Miss V, I was actually going to try to email you today. I hadn't seen you in a minute. I've been wondering about you. Making sure you's okay. But yeah. Better? Yeah. Okay, cool. But okay. Yeah, I haven't seen Leisure in a minute either, Miss V, so I don't know if you don't need, you know, a way to get a hold of him or anything. I would like to know if he's okay. But yeah, and everybody else that's going through stuff, guys, please, let's no more Fugel tonight. Okay. Did they just post that one? Must have. Because I didn't see anything yet. I was setting up for this. So, okay. That's good info, Jammer. Thank you. Guys, no more Fugel tonight. So, you know, I tell you what I'm probably going to do then. I'll probably do a members only stream right after this. Okay? So anybody that's a member, please click your bell, and I'll do a members only stream right after this, and that way we can, you know, get a members only stream in, and everybody else can just kind of. I'll start it up right after this one. I'm not going to wait any time. I'm just going to start it right up. Okay. So if you're a member, come. If not, please consider joining. We have a lot of fun. We're going to watch some chiropractic adjustments. I've got some Zoom court stuff we could take a look at. We might even make an emoji just for our members only. So anyway, so yeah, guys, we've had this is a decent sized eruption. Okay, this is an X2, and I guess the best place to start here, guys, would be. And I'm sorry about that poor audio, man. I tell you, man, I've been off my game a little bit here as far as the technical end of it. Yesterday or 2 days ago, and then today, but yeah. So we had this one, and that was almost an X flare. That did not produce a CME. Okay, this is a great example of how you could get flares, you can get CMEs. They don't have to happen at the same time. They oftentimes do, especially with big ones, right? But this was almost an X flare, and there was absolutely no plasma left to sun. So that gives people a better idea of there is a clear difference, right? Now, we didn't know this until the Carrington event. I mean, there was talk about it obviously before, but they were, as technology and stuff became better, Dr. Carrington, he actually seen it. Okay, he's seen that there was a flare, and then CME and all the the components involved. He was actually able to observe it and do certain things here. And there was another doctor that was involved in that too. I can't remember his name, but they call it the Carrington event. Obviously, that's when the telegraph lines caught on fire. The handsets were catching fire in the operator's hand and everything else. And get this, guys, there were telegrams going through with no wires. So, could you imagine that? I mean, that's just how juiced we were because of it. There was enough there that it propagated through the air. And it's, yeah, that's a big hit. Now, obviously, that's the one we go back to. They say that's the biggest one, modern day, and it most likely was. If we get one of those today, I just don't know what would happen. Obviously, we all talk about the grid down situation, and I would definitely say that's on the table in that kind of an event. Is it a guarantee? Man, I would love to just sit here and say, man, that's not a guarantee that would happen, but I'm just thinking that it probably would in a situation like that. I mean, there would definitely be major issues globally, if not just a complete infrastructure shutdown. You know what I mean? And that's what we all talk about, right? I don't typically go that end of it, but I want to make sure that people understand that is a possibility. Always is. Plus, we could get events like just a back-to-back-to-back-to-back hit, like we did earlier this year, where we didn't have such big X flares. They were X flares with big CMEs with them, but they weren't, the X100s and the X45s, right? These are down X3, X4, okay? So those hitting, just one right after another, real close to one another, we call it double hit. You'll hear us say that, or a double tap. And there's usually like a triple or a quadruple all involved there. Those kinds of things can cause the same issues. And the way that I understand it, it might even be a bigger probability when you get smaller back-to-back flare or CMEs than if you just got one big large one. And there's a lot of science, a lot of theory behind that. But let's just face it, right? None of us have been here to observe any of that except for the Carrington event. Now, we had the 2003, and this is what's significant about what I'm talking about today. You guys are going to notice that we do see an uptick, okay? We do see an uptick in everything when we got solar weather. So that's why I was talking about the earthquakes earlier. So, but also around Halloween time, space weather loves the equinoxes. That's just a fact. 2003 Halloween storm, right? 1989 Canadian blackout. I believe that was in right around the fall equinox, if I'm correct. I think it was in September also. So, I mean, around these times, various times, we are more susceptible, it seems, just because of our tilt and everything else, to really draw it in during the equinoxes. And it makes sense if you really dig into the science of it. But this is what we got right now. And this is not grid down. I'm saying that right up off the bat. I'm never going to tell you anything different here. Okay? I'm only going to be able to tell you that one time, and that's the one time that it's going to happen. Right? At least in my opinion. And I probably won't even be able to tell you then. Because if it is that big of an event, most likely I'm not going to be able to tell you. So that's why I'm giving you guys the tools to be able to understand that before stuff like that happens. And thank you, Ron, for the 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate you, brother. I will be giving you a proper thanks here in just a few minutes. Planet Hermit's in here too. Good to see you. Surgery, Stephanie, what's up, guys? Wise Jen? Okay. So, I tell you what, go ahead and give me a roll call in there, okay, if you guys would. Just kind of a regional thing. Just where you're at regionally in the world. But something else, guys. So this is what I want to do right now. First off, okay, yeah, almost X-Flare, almost X-Flare. This is the one that did not produce the CME. I can show that to you. It's from the same sunspot, okay? And it's right here. So check it out. That did not produce the CME. Now, I know it's hard for people to kind of grab a hold of that. Why did that not just throw plasma everywhere? Well, because it's X-ray. It's not actual, like, erupting plasma. Now, oftentimes, you get those big eruptions because this destabilizes the sun right here. So, and they look simultaneous most of the time. And a lot of times they are, right? But see how that one just did that? Now we'll go to the next one. It comes from the same exact area, and it looks almost exactly the same, except for this one did let some plasma go. Now, notice also that. Okay, this thing is getting to become hyperactive. There's another flare there, another flare there. And then that one, see that? That came from over here. So we're getting flares everywhere. And we would expect that during this, part of the solar cycle. Okay, so let me get moving on that. Now, so let's take a look at the one right there. And then there's the one, and it is bigger. You definitely can see that it's more powerful, okay, than the one it produced earlier. Now, one of two things can happen here. Or 3 things, I guess. After this flare is over, right? Things can go right back to where they were as far as how stable the sunspot is. Or it can actually release enough energy that it actually stables itself out in the sense that it won't be able to produce such a large flare after that, right? Or it can be a precursor to a bigger one. So all 3 of those things can happen and do happen. Can I point to you and tell you exactly what's going to happen with this one? No, I can't. It's just the way that it is. And nobody really can. They can give you some sort of educated guess on it, but the sun does what it wants, when it wants, and how it wants to do it. And I say that 1,000 times. But that's definitely a good X-ray production right there, okay? I mean, and it doesn't really get much more dead center to Earth. And so I'm going to be interested to see, because look, if you look at the timestamp here, it's 22:05. If we come up here and we go to Space Weather Prediction Center here, where this one happened, and then if we come back over to seeds, the coronagraph I always show you guys, we don't have those images yet. Okay, the furthest one we got is 2200 right here at 12 minutes. Now, let me go back here. What exact? Yeah, 2200. Oh, that says 05, 5 minutes, right? Well, what we have to understand is this. That's 2200 at 12 minutes, but this has an occulter disc in front of it. Okay, that's a physical disc on the camera. We will not be able to see this CME for about an hour. Okay, so this is the surface of the sun. This disk is a little bigger than the sun itself because it's trying to block out the coronal glow, and it blocks a lot of the light so we can get an image at all. Okay, so that's what's crack-a-lacking right there. Now with this thing, I anticipate in seeing some sort of a halo signature here. We can, I guess, because this data may already be there somewhere. I just looked on seeds. Okay, I guess we can take a look at Lasco C3. This is the same satellite. It's just a more zoomed out version of it. And I don't think we're going to have enough time there. Nope, we're not. Now, I'm only going off of NASA and NOAA's version of this right here. Okay, so that's why I'm confident in telling you it produced a CME. I can't really see it visually on the extreme ultraviolet yet. Okay, which is this. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take that back and we're going to look at the 304, because sometimes you can see most times you can see the plasma come off a lot easier with this wavelength of light. Okay, so let me just pause, stop it like that, and we'll come through here. So we'll back it up to the first one. There's the first one. See how like unimpressive that is? That was almost an X flare. That's why we look at different angstroms of light here, guys. We're seeing different gases. And then we'll get the big X flare over here. Right there. And yeah, it does look like it produced some plasma. You can kind of see it shooting out. It's going to be hard to see. And the reason why is because the sun's the background. If we had the darkness of space out here, it'd be a totally different story. Okay? So that's just what I'll say on that. But it, just judging by unless they're talking about a different eruption that I'm not seeing yet, it does look as though that produced a CME. Now I'm questioning myself. Look at this one. What time was that? I guess it could be that one. I don't know. See that? See it? You can definitely see the plasma leaving the sun there. Now, when that left, it does look to be going at an angle that it might not hit Earth from that direction, but something else just to kind of see. Now I'm unsure. After seeing that, I'm kind of unsure. Let me tell you why. If you watch this model, this is the top down. This is the side cut. Okay, this here had a more like a southerly orientated eruption down this direction. Okay, hold on one second, guys. Sorry, need to do that. Okay, now see how that does that. Now, if we go look at the model I believe has it, and we're going to look at the north-south, the side cut here, because we're looking from the side to see if it's got a more southerly direction. If it does, that might be why they're saying we're getting that. I don't know. Let's take a look. It sure does. You see that? I can confidently tell you right now that this CME right here did not come from this. I mean, I'm pretty confident in just saying that, because you would see it up here more, right? At least up equatorial direction. So yeah, so we may have two coming, and that one there may not have produced a CME. I couldn't see much of one, but I was going off of these models, just so you know. I mean, that's what I was doing here. Now, I will say this. Can you guys see that? It appears like there might be two of them. Unless they're counting in the coronal hole streams. Okay? Unless that's what we're seeing there. So, with that kind of you're going to get a shock wave built up in there too. And you can kind of see that here, because you get kind of a double hump here. So maybe they're showing us both. I don't know. You guys are looking at it with me just like I'm looking at it right now. So yeah. But yeah. Alright. Guys, I don't mind you guys putting stuff there in the chat like that. It doesn't really bother me, but please don't continual do that. Please don't spam it, is what I'm saying. And you're more welcome to do that for one comment, but please don't do that for multiple comments, one right after the other. It's disrespectful to the chat. That's the only reason why I'm saying it. No matter what your beliefs are, you know, just do that one. If you're going to do that, fine, whatever. I'm not going to make a big deal about it, but just, you know. All right. So, now, did I miss the roll call again? I caught just a little bit of it here. Can you guys give me another roll call? I am so sorry. I missed it again. I got wrapped up into this, which is what I really should be doing anyway. Okay, so this is the D region, and you can still see the radiation storm. That's why you see it lit up here on the poles. Okay, so if I back this up, though, watch what we get to see. There's your X-flare. Okay, so it happened here, right out in the middle of the ocean. Now, I know we got Kathy over here on Hawaii, so maybe she's in here. I'm not sure if she's in here or not, but yeah. Texas, Ohio, Bowling Green, Kentucky, Mississippi. Hi, from Northern California. What's up? Is that Heatha Lee, 1888? Awesome. Yeah, hey, Ron, thank you again for gifting those memberships. Appreciate you. Hey, Pam B, the neighbor over in the next town over in Indiana. TNAZ, where you from? Scottsdale, Arizona. Love it. Wharton, what's up? Northern Utah. That's right, Surgery. Good to see you. The Purple Princess, Pennsylvania. Washington State, Miss V is in the hizzy. Right? New Hampshire, John. What's up? Kylo Sanchez, Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's a cool name. If that's your real name, Kylo, that's cool. If not, I'm assuming it's a Star Wars reference. Montana, Kathy Stewart Wimbles from Wales. Hey, my friends across the pond, love it. North of Seattle, that's right, K&N. Donna Hill, South Carolina. PNW, Lisa, Crestwood, Kentucky. Jason, Trish is in the hizzy. Mojave Desert, Nevada. Prayers to everybody that needs them, guys. There are a lot of people in our community right now going through some very, very hard stuff. So please just send prayers, good thoughts, whatever you do. All right? Okay, thank you for that, guys. I do appreciate that. Now, so this is where we see the bullseye signature, right? There you go. That is your flare. That would be the day side of the planet. Flares get here in 8 minutes from the sun. It's moving at the speed of light. So when you look at the sun tomorrow morning when you wake up, you go outside. Well, if you're across the pond, you're going to see a lot quicker than we are. But if you go outside and look up at the sun, always remember that's what the sun looked like 8 minutes ago. It's kind of a brain, it'll mess with your brain there a little bit. Thanks for all the ones in there too, guys. South Carolina Bill, what's up? Leslie, where are you from? Eastern Oregon? Awesome. Tim Love, South Dakota. Oh, man. Mark Lee. Sorry. He was, a few years back, I had one of my best friends, his name was Mark Lee. He passed away. He ended up with, he had small cell cancer, and it took him pretty quick, too. Sorry, that kind of just took me aback when I seen that name. Sorry about that. And please don't feel like I don't want you to chat because of that. I just wasn't expecting to see that. So, anyway, thank you. Isaac from Hawaii, baby. Parts unknown. Deep Quake Ball. There you go, brother. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Pretty much. Yep, that's right. Planet Hermit. Great comment. Great comment. Let's get that one highlighted. Okay. That's explains everything I just said there, actually. Okay, let's see if I can't get it back here. I'm trying to find it, guys. Sorry. The chat moves so fast sometimes I can't. There it is. There it is. But it explains everything, guys. So if you want to, it's not exactly 8 minutes, obviously. Um, so the sun's roughly around 93 million miles away, and if you factor in the speed of light, it's roughly 8 minutes. Now you can get exact time if you want. I could probably figure that out for you real quick and let you guys know tomorrow. It's a simple calculation. So anyway, back to this. Is this thing going to hit us? Well, something's going to hit us. This is why I nowcast. All right. As you can see, something's going to hit us, but I'm not sure if it came from that X-flare. What's Dr. Tony Phillips saying about it here? Okay, the CME might graze Earth on November 1st. That's G1, right? That's tomorrow. So that actually could happen at any time. That was from that big filament yesterday. Or 2 days ago. I'll show you guys that here in just a second. But another X-class solar flare producing, okay, NASA's SDO captured a spray of hot plasma emerging from the blast. Maybe that's what he's showing here. Okay, I just wasn't looking at the right angstrom. And this is a composite. It's the same satellite I just showed you guys, but it's got like 3 or 4 different overlays. Okay, 3 or 4 different light parts of the light spectrum laid on top of each other. And it does give you a better visual here. So, yeah, it does look like it. So, with that being said, there's going to be a second one. Because I'm pretty confident that thing didn't blow off there southerly, okay? So the one we're seeing here is definitely blowing southerly. I mean, pretty clear, right? I mean, am I not seeing this right, guys? If I'm not, you call me out on it. I want to know. All right? But yeah. By the way, I don't know why I hadn't done this yet. Okay. Let's see how long it takes people to notice that. I'm going to check. I'll check later. I should have done that a long time ago. Anyway. Well, I'm going to wait. I'm just having some fun with that. But yeah, so you got that. Now, NASA's version here, this could be, hold on here though. See, that's southerly too. So I'm just not, guys, I'm pretty sure that this is from that first one. And what first one am I talking about? I'm talking about the one that fired off down here. So let me back this up and I'll show you again. Right here. See it? I know it's hard to see. Did it completely leave the sun or not? I don't know. Hey, KN, thank you for coming a member. I appreciate you. That's awesome. Thank you. Truly. Truly, truly. Did you see it? You see it, Hermit? I think somebody might have seen it. Let's see. Planet Hermit, where you at? Planet Hermit. Yep, there you go. I should have done that a long time ago. I'm sorry. Sometimes I just don't even know, you know. Yeah. I don't want to, like, make my whole chat blue. You know what I mean? I wish I could just give everybody a wrench. I really do. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of one of those things. I like being moderators on other channels. I love moderating over on Marfugal. It's fun. It really is. You get to know people. We are setting up a mod group. And guys, listen, anybody that's a mod, I am setting up the Telegram room. I'm just having, I haven't, it's just stupid because I was trying to send links out to everybody that was emailing me and it wasn't letting me send it for some reason. I got something going on with my system. So I may put add Jammer. He offered to be an admin in that room. So I may add him and he might be able to help me with that, organize that a little bit if he wants to. I didn't even mention it. He's the one that mentioned it. So if you don't, I kind of just put him on the spot, didn't I? Sorry, Jammer. I didn't mean to do that to you. Don't feel obligated though. Seriously, please don't feel obligated. All right. So yeah. So I'm not sure, guys. I don't think that CME it's showing here. Okay, or here is the one that we're seeing from up here. Because it looks to me like it's going that way. We're just going to have to wait on the coronagraphs. We got time, okay? Always remember that. With CMEs, we typically have anywhere between 2 to 5 days. The faster mover ones will get here sometimes in less than 2 days. But we got time, right? We can let the equipment or the technology catch up. That's why I now cast. I don't want to come out here and say something because I've been wrong so many times. And I think if anybody's honest with themselves that reports on space weather, they would say the exact same thing. But you're not going to hear that. I'll just tell you. Yeah, Jammer, I'll make you an admin in that room, okay, man? Or even if you wanted to, you could just set it up. Just set up a brand new room if you wanted to, if that makes it easier. And send me a link to it, and that way I can be in there if I need to be. I don't necessarily have to be, but yeah. Yeah, gosh, I forgot about that, guys. We got to give TNS some support, guys. Texas News Studio, I seen today that they shut down his Twitch channel. That's horrible. That's a horrible thing for him to have to go through. He's been doing news for 10 years, and they just killed all his income over there. That's hard for Mark. I mean, my gosh. He's on Rumble, so if you guys want to go support him on Rumble, he would probably love that. So, guys, he's got a regular 9 to 5 too, so just understand all that. But he definitely didn't, from what I understand and from what I could see, I've never seen him do anything crazy wrong, okay? I'm not even sure what the exact reason, but, just is what it is. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't see that until just now. Maybe they're showing this one. See how that peeled back a canyon of fire? And TNS is on is there on YouTube too. He just doesn't post there all the time. Alright. So okay, now, guys, I'm just gonna briefly touch on this. This right here, this happened right as this thing, you guys can go look at the timestamps. I mean, it just doesn't get any closer. Literally within minutes of this thing hitting, this happened. Okay. Also, let me change the angstrom of light here to show you the coronal hole. Anytime we have a coronal hole facing Earth, we get an uptick in seismic activity. Okay, so always know that. But I just want to make sure that y'all know that stuff, okay? Because that's what's going on. When we have these coronal holes open up, and it was directly in front of us. Okay, when that big one happened, there were two big ones just hours apart. One up there in Cascadia, and there was one down in Papua New Guinea, I think, if I remember right. Well, we can go look. Right here. Yeah. So, these are exactly the same size earthquakes. And it's not uncommon to see them here on the lines. But this is very worrying at the bend. Everybody pays attention when we see an earthquake right there in the Cascadia, especially that part of it. Because if that slips the right direction, literally, you're going to have beachfront property in Arizona. Because that is a big deal, okay? Hopefully we never see that in our lifetime. I don't want to see it. I don't know about you guys. Okay, but here you go. Look at all these sunspots. I mean, wow. That's a lot, and this is big. This one here is a big one. That's Earth. Look at that. It's like 5 or 6 tall. 3 or 4 wide there. Probably more like 3. It's just, wow. That's all I can say. Now, this is the same view. They just got the tint a little darker here. And it does allow you to see a bit more contrast. So I appreciate that, actually. But just so you know. All right. Massachusetts, baby. That's right. But yeah. What's up, J Posh? You in here, bud? Yeah, guys, if you guys would, anybody that's a member, please send out a notification to all the other members that you know that I'm going to do a members only right after this. Okay? I think it's a great. If Marf isn't going to go live, he's probably taking his kids trick or treating. I'm guessing. Um, he lives over on the West Coast, so it's 3 hour difference. So it'd be a good time for me if he's not going to be able to do a show tonight. It'd be a good time for me to do one here. We ain't got to worry about overlap. You know what I mean? But yeah. Okay. So long. What was I say? Long Meadow. That's a cool name. Hey Kim, what's up? All right. So again, so this is what we had. We had this one, this corona hole facing Earth, right? We had, and what I'm talking about here, guys, is, and then we had a flare almost at the exact same time as this earthquake. There's something else that I seen, and I don't know that it has anything at all, let me say it first and foremost, to do with anything, but I did see some glitching going on. We've had a lot of glitching going on with Soho. Okay? Welcome to Red Kool-aid with a blue badge. Miss B's in the hizzy. That's right, baby. Must have just re-upped. That's what happens, guys, when you guys do a reoccurring type of thing. That's what it'll show. Thank you, Miss B. Appreciate you. More than I can say. All my mods. All right. So, let me take this, and we're going to go look at the 304. And I'm going to go back one more. Well, I don't need to, I guess. I do want to go back one more day, though, because I want to show you guys that big eruption off the southwest side over here. Look. Well, it's got to load again. Sorry. I've already shown this to you in my last live stream, but I want you guys to see it again. This is the one they're saying that could graze our planet today. Later on tonight into tomorrow. It'll happen right at the beginning of the run here in just a second. So watch it right here. I mean, that's a massive amount of plasma. And it's a good thing that that was not right in front. Okay? Just so you know. It's a good thing that thing was not right in front of us, because we would most definitely be talking about some G3, G4 type of stuff. Also, something else I noticed, it started to destabilize other filaments. Look. There's a bigger one right here that happens right after that one that almost goes straight off the south of the sun. The south pole of the sun here. It's going to happen. I'm just going to let it play out here. Right about there. It's coming. It's trying to release. See how it released off? Okay? So, yeah. Now, again, this is why we're not letting our guard down. I mean, you can see how even that over there. I mean, that's not even part of the big one. These dark shadows you guys can see here are called magnetic filaments, and they're just kind of, they're magnetic ropes laying there, right? And they can lift off, and when they do, that's a big CME typically. Now, do they hit Earth? Of course they do, right? But not always. So it's the same as looking at any other CME. You have to analyze it very similar to see if it's going to hit Earth. The thing is, with the filament, because of the way that they lift off and erupt out, they tend to be a little bit more, how can I say this, like plate shaped, okay? Kind of more flat, but not all the way flat. And they kind of, I use the word flick, and it's probably not the best word to use there, but it'll flick out, and then they become kind of like a flat horizontal or vertical, depending on how they blow off the sun. And they get real wide, okay? Real wide, or if they're north-south oriented, it'll be more tall, right? So what that does is it can make it more susceptible to hit us, or it can make it less. Because something that's thinner, right, like a plate versus a cone from like a regular CME eruption is going to have a less chance of hitting us most of the time. But when those things do hit, they're very dense typically, and they're moving pretty quick. So when we do get hit with these magnetic filaments, we take some good rocking with these things. Okay? That's just what I just want to make sure everybody understands that. Okay. Hey, Kool-aid Krew. Sorry about that. And we'll go ahead and get... And I am sorry about the crappy audio there at the beginning of the stream there. That sucked. That's 2 days in a row I messed up some stuff here. Wow. But yeah, so there is one more thing I want to try to show you guys. Okay, so hang out here just for one more second. This model wasn't updating earlier. This is the geoelectric field. It is now. Good. This is the electric field, geoelectric field at the surface. They're showing you space weather's effect on unnatural electrical components. What's that mean? Unnatural electrical components? Exactly what you think. Wall switches, car batteries, anything that isn't made by nature, they're trying to show you this. Now, why are they... Canada didn't used to be here on this. Unfortunately, I don't have a model for anywhere else in the world. They don't do this anywhere else, at least not on this kind of a scale. They're bridging a gap between earthquake forecasting and space weather. That's the whole point here. When we get geomagnetism from the sun, from anything solar, any of that, right? Let me say this, that it typically will have an uptick, right? Now, people ask me, how can you say that? What do we see? Guys, it isn't gigantic stuff right at the beginning, okay? When we start seeing gigantic stuff from these things, and we may never with the geoelectric field, right? That's part of the formula, is what I'm trying to say. It's just a piece of it that will help instigate earthquakes. So when I tell you that we had a flare right at the same time as this earthquake, doesn't mean that flare caused the earthquake. Matter of fact, I'm telling you it doesn't, right? What I'm saying is it's adding things to the bowl until the bowl gets full and overflows, right? So it's just one, if we got other conditions and other things that cause earthquakes happening all the time, and then sometimes you'll get that, whatever that last thing is, and finally it'll slip. Sometimes that can be space weather. And they're trying to understand that. That's why they're doing this. So, and I know that, we can go back, look at historic data. Anytime we have a coronal hole facing Earth, okay, which we do right now, where am I at here? Back over here. We can see it in the data. We get a clear uptick in seismic activity globally. We get increased house fires. We get increased false trips and stuff off of like your transformers. Even GFCIs can trip out in your house, guys. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to say. And it can just kind of, they're just trying to bridge that gap. Now, again, is it something massive going to happen? No. Nobody's ever said that. This is just part of the formula, and we got to look at everything as a whole. Right? Hey, Jammer, thank you, bud. That's right, baby. That is right. This man right here is making business cards for me so we can pass them out. I'm serious. He's awesome. Split through 2 cars. Okay, I got you. I'm with you. Thank you, brother. You didn't have to do that. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so guys, that is pretty much all I've got for you as far as space weather today. If anything else happens, I'll be back on here live like I am every other time. You guys know that, you know. I'm here all the time. This is the HP. This is the same indice. Oops, I just clicked off of it, so we won't look at it. But it's the same indice as the KP. It just this is 30-minute plots. We did get to a G1 storm for 30 minutes today. So that might have been that grazing filament right here. Okay? That could have been us getting like the back end of that. See, watch what happens here. Right there. Now, I guess we could go over here before we leave, and we'll take a look at the 29th. Right. I think it's here. Yeah, we're just not seeing it. You can a little bit. You see this right here? See how it's kind of moving in that direction? Let me slow it down. See that? That's that filament blowed off there. But it's already all the way out here. Okay? So it is there. So they're thinking that might hit us, I guess. So it might have already hit. We just didn't stay in storm level for very long. All right. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. We will just, again, you know, we will, I'll be back here tomorrow. If not, I'll be on here before tomorrow. Members only. I'm going to post the members only thumbnail real quick, and I'm going to go straight into it. Okay? Just so you know. All right? So we will see you then. So anybody else that's here, if you want to join, please join. We're just going to have fun and laugh over there. I think sometimes we need that. Well, I know we need it. So anyway, guys, God bless. Yahusha saves. And as always, I love my moderators. And I love the Kool-Aid Krew, just so you guys know, all of you. And you can drink.